Hello everybody, here the Japanese Train here, and today I have a very special Scottish themed review for you. I've got my Scottish cookies out, I've got my Scottish tea mug full of tea, and I'm ready to take a look at the most Scottish Thomas item possible, Donald, the Scottish twin, in Trackmaster motorized form. So, let's go ahead and take a look. These are good. Okay, here's Donald in the package. Definitely was not expected for this to be released, and you can see here on the back they finally started doing the All Engines Go look for our show, and they put the little picture of Donald. But I think it's kind of funny that the reboot's now being not renewed. They're not making any more episodes. That's when they finally decide to advertise their show. It's just there's kind of an irony in that. But what I noticed about the packaging right away is that the face of Donald in the All Engines Go 2D drawing is not the same as the one on the actual engine. The tooth chip is the same, but that nose and really kind of the crow's feet around the eyes, it just reminds me a lot more of James than it does of Donald. So even when they announced this, I did not really think that Donald was going to appear in the show. I kind of feel like this is a Colby or D199 situation where it's a character you're not going to see on screen, but they'll make it into merchandise just for people to, have. And it's kind of sad that that's where we are with characters that are so iconic, like the Scottish twins, but, here we are. And I'm definitely not expecting them to make a Douglas, especially not only because there's new classic motorized engines and the All Engines Go format's kind of on the way out, but just if you're deciding between Donald and Douglas to sell, you're going to want to put all of your chances into getting one of them to sell, as opposed to going through all the effort to make two different engines, and then, what would be the point?
Hey guys, it's here the Japanese Train in Post. I'm realizing too, another reason why they may have done Donald specifically and not Douglas is the numbering. They have, in some merchandise range, some version of every character number 1 through 9. They have Thomas, of course. There's a die-cast Edward. There's a motorized and a die-cast Henry. They have tons of Gordons. There's James. There's tons of Percy. They have a die-cast and a motorized of Toby, and they have a die-cast of Duck. So if you have 1 through 8, then maybe the reason they did Donald and not Douglas is simply a matter of numerical order. But I don't know. I can't confirm that one way or the other.
It's kind of, again, it's just where we're at, but economically, I guess it makes sense. On the bottom of the box, I love it when they do this with the barcode. I think it's very clever and creative with Thomas climbing the barcodes like a mountain. And yeah, that's kind of the first look at the box. I actually pre-ordered this way back in December, and I only got it in the mail a couple weeks ago, so I've been waiting a long time to get this. I pre-ordered it right away from Amazon, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it up, and then let's see how he looks out of the box. Okay, here he is out of the box, and really loving this item as far as Trackmaster 2 goes, by All Engines Go standards. I mean, really, if it wasn't for the 2D face and the sort of curved back funnel, you probably could have fooled me that this was a TV series sort of regular um, rendition of Donald. The fact that it does not go so far on the nose with the All Engines Go format is definitely a plus for this item for me. The face is great. I love the nose follows, with the TV series Donald very well, and I love the railings that we've got. They actually have the details on here in silver, which is awesome to see. I love the 3D whistle whenever that is possible. I love it when they do that. The buffers are, it's a screen printed buffer beam, and they just left negative space for the buffers. That's totally good with me. I like that. The one thing that jumps out to me is definitely the space between the engines and the couplings, and I'm definitely not the first person to talk about this and mention this, because It's just such a glaring issue. And actually, I recommend Extreme Trains is a great YouTube channel. He talks a lot about this sort of issue and how to resolve it. So I'll plug that channel below. Definitely deserves more subscribers than he has, so you should definitely go and check him out. But the tender is, pretty good. It's kind of, I don't really like it when they put buffers where buffers don't go, but I'm not really going to complain at this point. Just the fact that we have a Donald at all is kind of like astonishing. But on the whole, he looks really great in the flesh. He actually looks better than I thought he would. Definitely, he looks better at angles where you can't see that far off distance between him and the tender. But I'm going to go ahead and put some batteries in him and let's see how he runs, and then I'll kind of debrief. When I put Donald on this little loop of track, you can really tell the distance problem with the coupling and the tender. And you can see how good it used to be with a regular Trackmaster troublesome truck with, the new back coupling. But even for the older Trackmaster 2 stuff, I mean, it wasn't horrible, but this right here is just, it's kind of absurd. That's literally the only complaint I have on Donald, and honestly, if that's the only thing I have to say, that's not even Donald's problem, that's just kind of the motorized range's problem, so I'm happy with how he turned out, no matter what. Just the fact that we have a motorized Donald in this day and age in 2025 is already enough to be just such a cool item, and I think they captured him really well and very accurately. I also wanted to see how this Donald scaled up with other engines in the motorized All Engines Go line, and Percy is a bit chunky along with Thomas and sort of all those early engines, but Donald still manages to look bigger than Percy, even though he's kind of more slender and long, but definitely I think is roughly proportional. Obviously not to the actual show, because I'm going to call them the kiddo trains, the Thomas, Percy, Nia, Diesel. They're all like tiny in the actual reboot. But as far as the merchandise goes, I think that's, if you think of the classic series, the TV series, that's roughly how they would look together. So I think the scaling is pretty decent on this Donald. That's about going to do it for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about Donald, the motorized 2025 version, and let me know if you have plans to get him or any of the other new motorized items that are coming out. I really want to get my hands on the new classic engines, especially Duck, Flying Scotsman, so if I'm able to get those, I'll definitely make videos on those in the future, but I'm really thrilled with Donald. I would give him an A-. Just seeing Donald already gives him the A, so thank you very much for watching. I'm here with the Japanese Train, signing off. I'll see you in the next one.